Yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lies to sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report. I am your host. It's your boy, Russell Wayne, right here, and we're broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. We are rapidly approaching 56,000 villains. And thank you to everybody that is following. Thank you to everybody that's liking, commenting, and sharing this content, helping us reach other football fans that are out there. We are live on YouTube right there at Lions Villain Squad. Yes,
You like that?
I do.
You like that?
Thank you, Kurt. We are live at the Detroit Lions News Podcast right there. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys
You like that?
over there at JC Sports
You like that?
and the network,
You like that?
letting us do it,
You like that?
letting us broadcast live.
You like that?
We do. We are brought to you by NFL Shop. And you can get one of those snazzy looking Jahmyr Gibbs jerseys right there by using that QR code, or you can use the link that I just threw into the comments right there. Fueled by The Lion Villain Report, fueled by NFL Shop. Thank you to NFL Shop. Faith, family, and then football. In that order, that's important for the villain. In that order, we use football. We use football to create memories. We use football to spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. And our STARS program, that's my wife right there. She is an advocate for autism awareness because my son is autistic, and he also has a rare genetic disorder that is being studied by the University of Michigan. And my wife is going through the journey, and we're going on this journey trying to figure out some brand new stuff right here. But she's also an advocate for autism awareness and children with special needs. She shares resources for families that have children with special needs, and our entire STARS program, whenever you comment using STARS, that is going to support her program on that, because we're going to do something nice for somebody right here. But thank you for joining the show. This is the Lion Villain Report. You can join me Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. talking Lions football. And we do have some themes that we got going on right here. And this is PFF Tuesday. But before we get to PFF Tuesday, I want to say hello to everybody in here so far. Good morning, Henry Gray. Good morning to Jeremy B. Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions. Good morning to Dwayne. Thank you guys for joining the show today. I love my live audience in here. Thank you, Fred Peterson. Good morning. Thank you for watching again. Davey, good morning. One Pride. You can subscribe to that YouTube channel that is at Lions Villain Squad. We appreciate all those. We're trying to build that up too. Good morning to Maurice. And good morning to Chad. Chad wants to jump on here and do his own show. Think that we might let Chad do that. We're going to have to talk to him about that, but we know that there's mutual interest. How about Paul Jones? Paul Jones up in the hizzle for shizzle. So let's go look at what Paul Jones can do here and get this thing out of the way. And we're going to put up this one instead, and boom, right there. Paul Jones, one of our constituents, one of our supervillains, helping us out with our group, Detroit Lions main event, 23,000 people. This is where you can post. This is where you can join the conversation. And the really, really good ones, we post out onto the page that has almost 56,000 people on it. So have some fun. Have some fun. Put some good football takes out there. There's some good stuff on here, you know, along with all the stuff that we do. Cool. Thank you, Pam. Look at that. Lions are on fire. I like that. I like that. You like that? Oh, gosh. Who else we got? Who else? Oh, Broski Bear in the house. I'll get down to you in a minute. We need to be ready for this game against the Vikings. Need to start like we did against Dallas and keep the pedal and the gas on the game. Thank you. Yes, I absolutely. We're going to get into that in a little bit too. We're going to talk a little bit about this next week's game, but good morning from John. Good morning. And thank you to anybody that uses our NFL shop link right there. That takes you straight to the NFC championship gear that they had from last year. But if you use any of those links on there, thank you. Thank you for supporting the page. Good morning to Adam. Gosh, I love seeing all the different different things. Are you beating the Queens this weekend? Well, we're going to talk about that here in a minute, broski. We're going to get in there. We're going to get in there. Bargain Basement Brad, getting it done. That's right. That's right. Good morning. Good morning to you, Mark. Henry Gray again said, if Dak didn't suck so bad in a game, Hutchinson would be okay. Man, what a gruesome injury. And I'm glad that they got the the surgery done right away. I mean, got to put some kudos out to the medical staff because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they may have gotten that surgery done. Like he was left the building, went to the hospital, got the surgery done for his leg, putting his leg back together with screws and rods. And that surgery might have been done by the time the game was over. So kudos to whatever you think about Dallas or whatever. They did right by Aiden Hutchinson. It was a clean break. It was a clean break. They attached it. It's still a 4 to 6 month injury for being the good, and the talk of him getting back by the Super Bowl or anything like that. I'm not probably not gonna see that. There may be some talk in January if the rehab goes real well, because he's going to be walking and working out on it sooner than later. But being able to work out on it and run on it is a lot different than pushing against another human being. But broski, I want to get into a little bit of the past. This is Tuesday. I usually get into the game preview tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit about it today. But what I want to get into is some of the PFF stuff, and you might appreciate some of this too. And if you want, broski, if you stick around, I'm even going to bring up some of the PFF stuff from your game as well. So let me put this in here. Oh, look at that sweet looking line right there. Let's share this one instead. Doing the offensive grades right here. And let's making sure we got snaps right here. So if you've never seen this before, it's kind of simple right here. We're going to look at the key, what all these different things mean, the roster position, snaps that were lined up, snaps that were lined up on run plays, snaps that were lined up on pass plays, total snaps, pass block snaps. And then they grade like everything. So there's a bunch of different ways that we can look at it, but looking at the Lions offensively, and this is one of those beautiful things that, Khalif Raymond is one of those blue chipper players that I just love. Because there he is. He was the best graded player. He only had 24 snaps. Khalif Raymond doesn't have a giant role on this team. And seeing him grade out at 90 right there, and maybe I should get into some of that, Scotty Reno. I'm looking at that. You're talking about the bargain basement shopping. Brad getting it done. Brad going and getting Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, the Lions signed Isaiah Thomas. Not the Isaiah Thomas you might think. Not the basketball Isaiah Thomas. No, we signed Isaiah Thomas from the Bengals practice squad. And what did I tell you? Trading for pass rushers, how much? The Lions value the players that have been locked into the system and know what we're doing. Now, the Hutchinson injury it's a huge injury. It's an injury that may force Aaron Glenn to completely rethink the way that he's going to play defense. When you got an edge player like Aiden Hutchinson, you feel pretty comfortable rushing 4 and having the 4-3 defense. But I honestly think that with our personnel and what we have and where our strengths are, got good linebackers. Even with the injuries we have good linebackers. And we got some good big men. So, maybe you just start stacking these defensive tackles on the line and sending them. Send the girth. But I don't know how they're going to play it. But going out and trading for a top pass rusher, I mean, it's gotta be one of the big dogs, man. I mean, let's really talk about that. We can get into the PFF stuff a little bit, but if you guys are fired up and want to talk about that, yeah, Paul Jones, best point guard ever. We go out and get Isaiah Thomas, you know things are firing, right? Um, I just seen that the Raiders are finalizing a deal that sends send Devontae Adam to Gets for conditional third round that could be a second rounder. Where is he going to? Where is he going to? He's not coming here. I'm okay with Scott. It's next man up. We need to add depth since we lost both Hutch and Pecco for the season. You are absolutely right. Now, but do remember that we are going to get Broderick Martin back here in the next couple weeks. So, I mean, talent in and talent out, you know. Lions win, of course. Oh man, you guys got way in here. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to find where we were. We just signed an edge from the it was a Browns practice squad. I thought it was a Bengals practice squad. Okay, well that's all right. That's all right. His name is Isaiah Thomas. Yes. Vikings are a tough team. Here we are, guys. Like I actually made where am I? Damn it. Oh, there it is. There we go. How many NFC North teams do you think can make the playoffs? I mean, look at this. Look at this NFC North, guys. How many NFC North teams make the playoffs? Vikings there at 5-0. I mean, what a division matchup we're going to get here. Now, I'm curious to see if this Vikings defense is for real. That's what I really want to look at. Broski, you want to know what I feel about this game? The 4-1 Lions going against the 5-0 Vikings. I want to know if the Vikings are real on defense. Because the Lions can attack you. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson doesn't play on offense, and our offense got to clicking just like your offense did. It's going to be a tough. That's going to be a tough offense to stop, and not just because of Jared Goff or whatever. It's because our offensive linemen are really good. They're good at picking up exotic blitzes, and you know we played that Brian Flores defense, and our offensive linemen are really really good. You know, can they handle Van Ginkel? Is the talent influx on defense going to be enough for the Vikings? That's what I want to know, because I still think that the Lions are going to be able to be physical and run the football. But if the Vikings have been good at stopping the run, but they haven't faced a run attack like this. We attack differently than Christian McCaffrey does. Christian McCaffrey gets it done because he's such a great running back. You know, and they do have decent run blocking, but the Lions have run blocking. Like bona fide guys that are elite at run blocking and moving people out the way. And then you put that on top of two different style running backs that are both very, very good running backs. So if you can make the Lions one-dimensional, then you force Goff to throw 50 times, then you have a chance to win the game. That's the way I look at it, because Goff can still beat you. But when he's the secondary off this, you know, not the number one thing that they're going for, you know, when it's run, and you're setting up Goff is untouchable in that spot. Like if the Lions can run the football, you're done. You're done. You're done on defense. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. They're going to be able to play that run to pass. Jamison Williams is becoming a problem because you can't box up. You can't load your box. That's what's being proven through the first 6 weeks of the NFL season. You know, you go from, man, I wonder what Jamison Williams can do. Can he be that viable number 2 option? Can he stretch the field? Can he do that too? He is doing that, and now you have to account for it. It creates problems. So when it comes with the Vikings, that's defensively, can they stop the Lions' run? I don't think they can. I think the Lions are elite in that spot, and it's going to create problems. Now, the other side of it is Aaron Glenn has to redefine what the defense is going to do. Because obviously, you're not going to replace Aiden Hutchinson, but you are going to put a guy that's going to be in that spot. But you designed your defense around Aiden's motor, so to speak. So now you have to find a way with the smorgasbord of other talents. How are you going to create pressure? You definitely want to be able to lean on the second and third level of your defense, which is really good at this time. Finally, the secondary starting to lock into the spot. They didn't have as many penalties in this last game, and they still had an elite receiver to cover. So if you can make them any team one-dimensional, then you're creating that. You know, like next week, you're not going to be able to stop Justin Jefferson. Nobody can stop Justin Jefferson, really. It's hard to just like shut Justin Jefferson down. But what you can do is you can stop the run and make sure like every single little thing piles into Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson could be their only way. Make them funnel that defense and make sure that you tackle him when he gets it. And Justin Jefferson has 8 catches for 80 yards. And that's the highlight. But you don't let Aaron Jones beat you. You don't let them run on you. They're not going to be able to run on us. They just won't. The Lions stop the run. That's what they do. They'll stop the run. Aiden Hutchinson not being there isn't that the Lions still stop the run. Their defense, the way that they play defense, stops the run. Aiden Hutchinson is a bona fide all-around stud player. But no, I think that the Lions can absolutely win this game against the Vikings. Troy says, is James Houston not a thing anymore? No, they just had other guys that were ahead of him on the depth chart, and he hasn't been the same since he came back from his injury. And thank you, Troy, for the comment, man. I appreciate you being on here today. Isaiah Thomas was the signing just for depth. Devontae Adams to the Jets for a 3rd rounder. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go, Aaron. Aaron cried his way into getting his guy. The Jets are stupid. The Jets are dumb. It's like that's why some of these organizations just stay bad. You know, if you can't get everybody thinking on the same level, then you let people just come in and then all of a sudden you have a 40-year-old quarterback running your franchise. I mean, you had Wilson as a receiver. Now you're going to bring Devontae Adams in. Okay, maybe they'll be able to win some games like that. You're trying to save your season at 2-4. MSU Detroit fan says the Pistons could use Isaiah Thomas anyway right now. Sure, Jets. Jets, Jets.
You like that? You like that? You like that?
Adams going to the Jets at the Bengals. It was the Bengals practice squad. I was right. I knew it. He was drafted. He was drafted to the Browns. Isaiah Thomas. I figured Adams would go to the Jets right there. Bengals, Browns, what's the difference? Both Ohio teams, right? I want to know if Darnold is going to have time to stand in the pocket and pick apart the Lions. He won't. Yeah, but what he is gonna do is he's gonna be under pressure, but he's gonna have holes in the defense that he can work to. There's going to be a lot more one-on-ones because I think that the Lions are going to have to blitz more to get pressure. Unless they get somebody to step up. But let's see. We got Thomas from the Bengals practice squad. He was on the Browns in 2022 and 2023. Then he was cut from Cleveland before beginning his season in Cincinnati. Picked him up. Yep. Here's the thing about these younger players, like these practice squad guys, they're learning. They got drafted, 22, 23, 22 and 23. So he spent time on a professional practice squad, meaning that he knows how practices work. And there's a lot of players that do that. There's a lot of talented players that do that. So here's the thing with him coming to our squad. He's actually going to have to be on the roster for at least 3 weeks, before they could move him down. He's got to be on the active roster when you poach somebody from their practice squad. So they must see something in this guy that is going to give him an opportunity to play early. So I don't know much about him other than he had a good RAS score. I don't know. And I don't even know what that means, right? Oh, gosh. The Lions have too many weapons on offense right there. Timothy, thank you for the comment. Timothy Carter in the house. Too many weapons on offense. That's not a bad problem to have. You just got to have guys that aren't going to complain. The ego's got to be in check to be in an offense like the Lions. Like, no block, no rock. It seems like all of us, the way that we're playing, let's go. It seems like all of us, the way we're all playing. Yeah, let's go. NFC North. All of the teams going to make the playoffs is what he's saying. I knew Holmes wasn't going to make a big move that the fans that a lot of fans wanted. That's not his style. If he does, he's not going to waste a lot of draft capital or money to get someone. It's the truth. It's the God's honest truth. I mean, unless you can get somebody like Myles Garrett, and I was looking at that, and it's just like, that's the type of player. You have to look for, one of these elite players that might be on the last 2 years of his deal. Because this Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Sewell contracts hit in 2026. So this has to be done, and their contract has to be finished before that, or they would have to restructure at that point. And I don't see it. I just don't see it. That's not how we're built in that way. Brad Holmes has got the plan for the future. Like right now, they're trying to maneuver money to keep the guys that we have. Like if they can maneuver some stuff where we can keep, Ali McNeil Barnes, Ifatu Melifanu, Aiden Hutchinson's going to be coming up. Like all of these guys, they're trying to maneuver stuff just to keep the guys they have. I mean, the minute that you go and spend a bunch of money on the outside, then that whole cap integrity that you had goes out the window. Now, I know there are some Lion fans that are out there that are like, screw it, screw the cap integrity, just go out and get the guy. Okay, that's fair. I want the Super Bowl this year. I want it too. But like, it's almost like you want to see what you got. You want to see what you got. You want to see if Aaron Glenn can still function without one player. Can they get it done? Are they going to give Sam Darnold all day to throw back there? Is the Lions' brand new secondary, which is elite on the back end? Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are an elite duo. If we didn't have that, we didn't have a good linebacking core, and if we didn't have DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil and and other guys that are at the top of their position, I would feel a lot worse about it. But the Lions have survived the last 3 years off of next man up, despite all of the outcry at every trade deadline to go out and get that top person. Oh, you got to spend the future. You got to spend the future. Picking players is this man's superpower. You may not like the way he goes out into free agency. You may not like the way that he does dollar store Brad. Maybe you don't even think that that's his strongest suit as a general manager, going and getting free agents and in that part of it. But he can pick players. This man picks players. And if I want to build a team, I want the guys that he picks. I mean, for more than one reason, because you understand a philosophy, right? And you're bringing your coach the right players. But two, those rookies are cheap. Those rookies are cheap. We're going to compete for a Super Bowl for the next 2 years because they have a whole bunch of elite players that are on cheap contracts. And the only way that you can maintain that is to continue to draft players that are going to play elite for cheap. He's drafted a whole bunch of Pro Bowl players. Those are the guys you want to pay. I mean, you're rolling the dice out there. You want to talk about gambling? You have no idea how any of those big name players are going to play here. They've never been on the inside of the locker room. You have no idea how their chemistry is going to mix. They didn't spend the whole training camp, blood, sweat, and tears. It's different. Just because you go and get Trey Hendrickson and spend the draft capital, oh, yeah, good. Thank God we got Trey Hendrickson. Okay, cool. Is he going to play good here? Is he going to fit into the culture? So when my coach tells me that we're good, that we love the guys that we have here, I'm okay with that. To me, I'm completely comfortable with that. When Dan Campbell says, I believe in the guys that are here, that's what he said in his press conference yesterday. I believe in the guys that are here. Those are the type of guys that's like, you're looking at your own practice squad. They're the guys that, that Broski is going to make fun of us for depending on. Oh, that guy's never going to do nothing. And those are the type of guys that have brought the surprises and made the Lions as good as they are. Players that come out of nowhere that are really good. So if they believe in the guys that are behind, yeah. Now, of course, what did they do? They did exactly what we thought they were going to do. You're not gonna trade away your future to go get a pass rusher unless you can get the guy. Like unless it's Myles Garrett or Crosby or one of the high-end guys that that have a reputation for the blue chipping. I don't mind that. And I don't even mind using Hendon Hooker as one of the pieces. I mean, Hendon Hooker's probably not going to see the field here. Use that as a piece. If they wait on Hendon Hooker's only going to go up in value. That's an appreciating asset right there. Is Hendon Hooker. That is an appreciating asset. Right now, I mean, I would say that I wouldn't get rid of Hendon Hooker for anything less than a second round pick. You got to get more bang for your buck, right? You got to be able to you paid a third. If you get a second, then you've upgraded. But I think if you wait longer, that can be a first or even multiples, especially if you go into an off season. So I just can't see them making the trade. Who? If they're going to go get it, who and how much do you think it would cost? Because it's easy. It's so funny to me. They're like, Brian Holmes has got to do something. Well, who's out there right now that's available? Nobody. Nobody's available that could really make a big difference on this team. I mean, not any more of a difference than you're rolling the dice like you would with anybody else. Let's see. We got to give credit to Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph for combining for 7 picks this season in 5 games. What's up, Christopher? He's got his Kool-Aid. He's got his Kool-Aid right on his profile picture. You got to like that.
You like that?
I like that. Got to give credit. That back end of the secondary. That's why I'm just not ready to sell the season in. I can't believe how many Lion fans want to sell the damn season in. I can't believe how many rival fans think that you can't recover from something like that. Good teams recover from stuff like this. If we're a good team, then we're going to recover from it. And that's it, and if we're not a good team, then what did it matter? If Aiden Hutchinson's the only good player, then and your whole team falls apart because of one player, then you weren't that good to begin with. But I don't believe that. I believe this team is good. I believe this roster was the best roster in the NFL from 1 to 69, and they have a chance to prove it. And I think they will. Damn, I personally hope that CD3 gets less handsy. Now he has 2 more PIs over Arnold. Yeah, I mean, I don't want him to get less handsy. I just want them to get better at using their hands. Because I think that they want the aggressive play. Obviously, you don't want to get as many PI calls. But if you're going to be a man-to-man team, that's what it is, man. You're going to have a lot more chance at PIs. Good morning, Randy. Thank you for watching. Practice squad poach for Thomas. And, you got to do what you got to do. They obviously had their talent, their eyes on this talent. And, what's next on the list, guys? So they bring him in, see what happens. Hutch was an elite pass rush, was elite. The pass rush will suffer. However, a stay-at-home D tackle isn't a bad thing. I mean, suffer. That's such a The thing is it's going to change the schematics of what we do. So it may suffer. The pass rush may suffer, but I just think it's going to change the defense. I heard this morning that the Lions reached out to the Browns about Zadarius Smith. He is playing on a 1-year rental for a 1-5 teams. So Zadarius Smith, I don't mind that move at all. You wouldn't have to spend. I mean, you probably day 3 pick, a 4, maybe a 5th or 6th round pick for that. We'll take the contract. We can afford the rental price. It doesn't affect us cap long term. I like that move, Tyler.
You like that?
Let's get Zadarius Smith.
You like that?
It's not going to replace Hutchinson. He's not as good as Hutchinson, but it would definitely be an upgrade to that other side because I believe in Josh Pascal, but at that rate, you have to have, 2 quality guys, or you got to switch your alignment to a 3-4 rather than a 4-3. Because I think that we got linebackers that can pass rush on our practice squad that I think they would love to give a shot to. Paul Jones says, bring back Betts. I don't know if they can do that, Paul. I mean, cancel out, leave his team right in the middle of the season. If we struggle with pass rush, we need to excel at offense and secondary. Yes, we have to change the way that we're going to play, right? Like with the potential, with Aiden Hutchinson in there, this defense had an opportunity with the secondary making the improvements to be a top 10 defense. I believed that with Aiden Hutchinson. I no longer believe that the Lions are going to have a chance, but maybe a top 15 defense without Hutchinson, I still think is attainable. And you have to go back and focus on what you're strong at. You got a strong back end, and I think that they can get good in coverage with their secondary. I think they're going to have to lean on this thing that they've been trying to get better with, which is the secondary. That back end is elite. Alex Anzalone is good. Jack Campbell is getting better by the week. He had his best week as a pro. Jack Campbell. So it's like you just have to lean on the other players that are good. You have to change your defensive alignment to fit something like that. So if you're counting on your team to be a top 10 defense with Hutchinson in there, then you can play offense a little bit differently. I think that the loss of Hutchinson is going to change the way we play offense too. And, these are professional football teams. These are professional, all of them. It's like people overreact to everything, David says. And that's what we do here. We're here 5 days a week. We want to give you a platform to overreact if you want to. Dan has always been a straight shooter. Don't care for the Lions. For liars. Don't care for liars. Yeah, I love that. Yep. Paul Jones. If they thought he was that good, they would have kept him on. They wouldn't have kept him on the practice squad. I don't believe that at all either. I don't believe that at all. I think that most teams are loaded with talented players through their practice squad. You can only protect so many guys, and sometimes they get poached. Hooker for Crosby and a second. Yeah, I don't think that I mean, if you think that they would sell, if you're the Raiders, would you pay for, I mean, how much do you believe in Hooker, I guess? Or how about period, then Goff goes down, we have to defend on Suckfield, on a Suckfield kind of guy? What about Jake Fromm? State Farm. Oh, I didn't think I don't think that is a real option with JJ Watt hasn't played in 2 seasons. Who said somebody say something? Did I miss the JJ Watt comment? Oh man. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think so. Crosby isn't on the table, guys. Oh, hey, Jeremy, everybody's on the table. When you think whenever one of your players goes down, hey, we should just trade for Bosa. I mean, Brad Holmes is so dumb. He's not on the horn right now talking to the 49ers, trying to get Bosa. Bosa would look so good on our defense right now. Stop it. I love the just like there's nobody that's available right now. I mean, that's the real of it. You know, there's nobody in free agency that's going to come in and be better than what you got, because what you got are guys loaded depth chart all the way from top to bottom that have been at least in there since training camp, know the defense, and that's going to be better than anything you can get off the street. There's nothing in free agency. Nothing in free agency that's going to come and make this team better. So everything has to come from a trade. And the one thing that most people don't take into account when they're thinking trading for, you need to go trade for, Brad needs to make a move or he doesn't love the Lions. It's like you have to have a willing partner. Somebody has to be willing to trade the player to you. You can't just be like, hi, I'm the Lions. Well, I want Max Crosby. Well, we don't want to trade Max Crosby. Well, I'm going to give you a 1 and a 2, and we're going to send you Hooker. We don't want to trade Max Crosby. Well, you have to have a willing partner. You just have to have a willing partner. I mean, it is what it is, right? Who's going to trade? Who's going to trade their players? I mean, especially when you're like, okay, if you're going to trade your players, you have to be thinking about your future, right? Max Crosby is the type of player you build your franchise around. Like when you fire everybody, who's the guy with the most seniority? He's the last guy to get fired, right? You don't trade Max Crosby. He's the one guy you got to keep. You rip apart everything else at the stud. You get rid of Devontae Adams' crying ass. And you build your franchise around Max Crosby. You don't trade Max Crosby. I don't know. Jeremy, I haven't understood that one. Just so you know. Wayne says Hutch is a huge loss, but I still believe this offense can score enough points to win. That's how they got to the NFC Championship last year. Lions didn't play defense last year. They gave up like $150 to every wide receiver they faced from like week 15 on. and they made to the NFC Championship with that defense. This defense is still way better right now, just with the improvements in the secondary. Jets had 9 offensive procedural penalties. So a new receiver will totally stop the false start penalties. Oh, he's vicious. Paul's vicious today. Take that, Jets.
Oh,
man. Cracks me up. Every time Rodgers throws an incompletion interception, he makes a dumb face. It wasn't his fault.
it's my quarterback.
He's pretty high.
It's my quarterback.
Oh, Adams to the Jets. I'm so glad that whole thing is over. This whole thing, like the Lions need Devontae Adams. Thank God that we're not going through that anymore. Our defense was going to be so motivated and play so hard for Hutch. And that's the thing. Like, For some reason, I get maybe I'm too stupid, but I'm not worried about this. I am worried about it from the point of like I don't have Hutchinson anymore, but I'm not worried about it from a point where I think that my whole team's gonna fall apart. And I think that Dan Campbell's going to forget how to coach next week, and all of a sudden Jahmyr Gibbs is going to not be a good running back, and David Montgomery's going to soften up and not squat 700 pounds, and it's like, what do we really believe in this team? Because if you believe that Hutchinson, like losing Hutchinson, is the game breaker, then you didn't believe in the team. You can't win a Super Bowl with one player. And here's the thing. There's that, even if that small chance that Hutchinson comes back by the Super Bowl, these guys are going to play for him. He probably won't come back by the Super Bowl. That's right on that 3 month. And when they say a 4 to 6 month, somebody coming back early would be 3 months, 4 weeks early. 4 weeks early on the early, like you're gonna, but 4 to 6 months. Not only are you gonna take the early, but you're gonna go earlier than the early. I don't know, but the defense is gonna be fine, man. They're gonna change. We don't know if CD3 will pass concussion protocol yet. Can't test till Thursday. I heard that CD3 passed concussion protocol and he could have came back in that game, and they chose not to pull him in. So I don't. CD3 is going to play. CD3 is going to play. That was, from what I read, that was a no brainer, that he could have came back in the game. He cleared concussion protocol in the game. Good morning, villains. The sun is shining. It's a great day to be a Lion fan. Kneecaps. We still have Mitchell Agude and Sakik Muhammad on the practice squad at the end. We do. We have guys that have been training and practicing with the team since training camp. So get this. Pick the Browns, use the draft. The pick the Browns used to draft 2022 was originally the Lions' pick. It was traded to Cleveland for David Blah. Really? Good info from MSU Detroit fan. Shout out. Love that comment. That's a nugget. That's a nugget right there. You gotta like that. That's good stuff. We're gonna say goodbye to the NFL, the sports huddle. All those huddle people, come on over to the YouTube page or the Facebook page, because they're about ready to kick us off of the Huddle Sports Network, because Ken and Ken, the Chicago show, is about ready to start over there. But we're going to stay over here. Don't worry about it. Campbell gave an optimistic 4 to 6 month return for Hutchinson. So I was listening today just on that with the Woodward Sports had their doctor guy come on and was talking about that. And he was saying that he would grade it at 55% or 50%. It was over 50% that somebody like Hutchinson could do that 4 to 6 and 3. Because of how it was broken. I don't know anything about this stuff, Jeremy. I just know what the doctor said. But for that, both of the bones broke. The way that it broke, it didn't do any nerve damage. It didn't do any damage to any of the muscle, the tissue, or anything like that. And it was a clean break. They were able to get it into surgery, screw it together, and the best case scenario happened as far as the surgery and how the bone broke. It wasn't a compound fracture. It was a clean break with both of them. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but that case scenario is like, they were talking about that you'll see him walking in less than a month, that he'll be out there with he'll have support. He'll be in a boot or whatever, but they'll have him doing stuff right away. Now, he'll probably there'll be a lot of people talking about it in December. I bet you. And I believe this too because I think he's going to progress as fast as a human being can progress. Like, this man is a routine mission. Like, he'll make it his mission. He'll maximize every single piece of therapy that he can get. He'll push everything to the limits. So, optimistic, 4 to 6 months. Yeah, let's just really think that he's going to be back next year. Like, I don't want to put any false hope that's out there because, for one, you have to figure out a way to get to the Super Bowl without him. So, Ken says, "Good morning, Russell. I think our defense will be fine. Last year, we were a worst case on defense with our DBs. And Dan and Glenn will figure it out. Yeah, last year we just had to learn to win shootouts. We don't want to have to do that this year." I keep going back. It stinks when I go through my comment on here, and this is why I may move the restream with Jeremy in November when my contract's up here with StreamYard. It's like these comments, I lose my spot on here. Dan has always been a straight shooter. I had already had that one. No JJ Watt. I think it's our D line, not the whole team. I don't think we have a better roster than the Ravens, unfortunately, but maybe we do. I mean, I think you can argue it. I mean, it really depends because people can say all they want about, what you can do without your best players, right? How deep is your roster? And the Lions have some testings that have been done, and they've passed these tests. They've won games without some of their best players. They win a game without their best safety and Brian Branch, and they're one of their best offensive linemen in Frank Ragnow. You win games like that. You go down Emmanuel Mosley, and then all of a sudden you're starting a rookie. Now, took him a minute to get his feet wet, but you're finding your depth out. You're finding out that Amik Robertson can come in and play, and he plays good every week in a secondary spot. You found out that Brandon Joseph, as a safety, can come in and play quality snaps. So you've seen it. Now, have we seen it with the Ravens? Well, we don't know. Well, maybe the Ravens have a better roster, but it ain't been tested like the Lions roster has been tested already in the depth spot. You go down Davenport, you're down players now. You don't have Kaminsky. You're down players now. And then the next guys step in. And now they have a proven track record, or they got a 4-1 record despite not having their starters. Fred Peterson. Look at the Vikings last season. They lost Kirk for a season and Jefferson for some time. Nothing against Hutch, but he's not as key as those two. And the Vikings still almost made the playoffs. That's the cool thing about playing 11 on 11 is like we put these players up on pedestals because they play well, and you can count on them to play well. But it's like you forget that the guy that's replacing him has probably been watching his every move, waiting for his chance to get in there, and is going to get his opportunity now. And another man, a human being, is going to go into that spot. And all of these guys made the NFL. I mean, I think we'll see Glenn blitzing a lot more now for the rest of the season, and that's fair. That's a fair assessment right there. The entire front seven had the exact pressure win rate as Hutchinson versus the Cowboys, 68.5. Still got a sack after he was gone by Nowoski. It's true. It's true. And I know that the minimizers are going to say, well, it was against, a team. They were already dead in the water. And I beg to differ on that. When that those guys were still going for it on fourth down, still trying to bring themselves back into the game in the third quarter, even though it was, 27-6. They were still trying to get it to 13. And they did. They sealed that game on that. And then when they sealed the game in the fourth quarter and they brought in their backup and took Dak out, that's when they gave up on the game. That's when it was left. So I agree with you, Jeremy. Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, he's got the crossover, baby. What's up, Brent? Good to see you on here. Oh, gosh, I got to get back. I feel like I'm never going to catch up with everything. Remember the 1991 Utley this season? CB3 has to go. What does that mean? It makes no sense to go get someone Hooker doesn't make enough to play for Cleveland. They only hire $1 trillion crappy quarterbacks. The Lions will pay a premium price for any trade at this point in the season. For sure. That's why they're not going to do it. That's why they're not going to do it. And all the players say that they won't go anywhere. I think money talks, but still think Max ain't coming. There's no way Max is coming. But it's like Max is just a name they throw out there because the Raiders suck. And then whenever you have a team that sucks, they'll tell you a 4 to 6 month recovery would be incredible. Borderline medical miracle. Not really. Not really. Not from what the doctor said. It's not a medical miracle for a 4 to 6 month recovery. It was a clean break. It looked that from every doctor that I've listened to talk about this, broski, said that it looked a lot worse than what it was. Like it looked worse on the TV, but the break was clean. And they immediately got it into surgery and that thing was fixed. It's not a medical miracle. 4 to 6 months is what the recovery is. That's what it is. 4 to 6 months. That's what the diagnosis is. Regular. That's the average person, 4 to 6 months for this type of deal. It's not a medical miracle. That's what it is. That's what they said. That's what the doctors say. That's the average. Now, the doctor that I listened to today on the Woodward Sports says that a guy like Hutchinson could do it in 3, which is why they made the Super Bowl statements. It's not BS. It's not shining sunshine or trying to throw potpourri on poop. 4 to 6 months recovery is not incredible. That's what the diagnosis is. That's what they expect. That's not the miracle. The miracle would be the incredible. The incredible part would be if he could do it in 3 and get back by the Super Bowl. That would be the incredible part, but not the 4 to 6 months part. David said that Hutch has a big hill to climb. Those 2 bones carry all of your weight. David says that he'll be back this season is a long shot. That they said it would be a long shot for him to make the Super Bowl. That means that they have to go through the entire season and then get there. And they'll be talking about it. I mean, it is what it is. They'll be talking about it when he's in there. I know that Hutch will maximize his recovery time. Corey says, just looking at Hutch, knowing the type of guy he is, he will be back. He won't accept anything less. I guarantee within 3 weeks, Hutchinson will be a cheerleader on the sidelines. Zach Zinter did for the Wolverines in the national championship games. He loves his team. Now, that's for sure. That's for sure. That they make for the national, like this team will get motivated with Aiden Hutchinson being on a sideline. He's an emotional leader. He will offer value there. I had the same injury, only more severe. It takes a long time to recover. I'm not saying Hutch will play like T.O., but I'm saying that the injury is very healable. They just said it was clean. With the break being clean, that means they can fix it and they can put it right back on its spot. So, I mean, what they also said was that what the doctor said is right now it's impossible to tell you. It's really the first 4 weeks of this injury is the most important part. They'll be able to tell a lot more after the first month and after it sets. And I don't know what goes along with the rehab of it, but you'll have a better idea. The scars will be gone and it'll be different. So there is a difference between us average human beings recovering and professional conditioned athlete recovering. Sacks don't win Super Boys, points do. We will be fine. From the bad guy.
It's my quarterback.
Sacks. Sacks can sure stop them from scoring points, though, for sure. Yeah. Tell Aaron Donald his sacks on Burrow didn't help the Rams. Oh!
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Hey, that's it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Oh, K-Cap. You're right on the money with your comment. I was in my 30s, so Hutch will heal faster, but I have a good idea on what he is facing. I get it, but without any muscles, tendons, ligaments, or nerve damage, he dodged all of the big setbacks. Hey, like when we get in here, you don't know. You won't know until he gets into the rehab part of it. Say, Jeremy, go look at the Colts winning Super Bowl in 6. How many sacks did that team have or need to have more than 8.5 sacks in a season? Nope, they didn't. Go play with a toaster. Come on, man. Why you gotta be like that? Super Bowls is 17 weeks away. So that's 4 months, right? So there you go. They said they played the Bears in that Super Bowl. Enough said. Here's the thing is like teams are just designed. Like, what is your identity of your team? What is the identity of your team? And this changes the identity of your team a little bit. But the good thing about the Lions is they have elite players at other positions, especially on offense. Lean on that offense. That offense could score 40 points against any team in the NFL. Any team, because they put you in a trick bag. Darnold is vulnerable. He wasn't reduced to a backup in his career for nothing. Oh, man, I don't like that take, Mark. Darnold has never had an opportunity like this. And he's got a can. That boy can throw the ball downfield. So the Lions do need to have their safeties on point. And if their safeties aren't on point, they're going to get smashed by Justin Jefferson in his game because Sam Darnold can throw the ball 60 yards in the air. So let's go. Why do I need to be like that, Russell? Well, I was told on Jeremy's show to go play with the top of a toaster. Uh, she was but hurt, but his bearish friend told me to go off myself with a toaster in a tub. Man, that opens up a whole side of anything. So I'm not going to entertain that because that didn't happen on this show, John. Like, I, I mean, that's not into my business on how you and Jeremy feel about each other. Jeremy's not on this show. This is my show. This is my show. And if you guys want to have a little personal tiff, go have a personal tiff in a back chat. And you guys can talk about toasters and strudel and whatever it is you want to talk about. But don't bring the personal stuff on here. Because sometimes I read things in real time and and I didn't realize that. I wouldn't even have read that comment if I knew that it was all the personal stuff. So I don't care who was right either on that. You guys can berate each other, but I would prefer that you didn't do it in this chat. So you guys can have different opinions. That's the beautiful thing about football opinions is none of us are right. We're all making educated guesses here. And I didn't even really get to much of the PFF stuff today because really the Aiden Hutchinson stuff and what the Lions are going to do is the biggest news that's out there right now. And just going through some of the PFF stats right here, I wanted to point out that Khalif Raymond is just one of those players. He's that guy, man. You can count on him. David Montgomery, Penei Sewell, Tim Patrick with another like very good outing by Tim Patrick offensively right there. Kevin Zeitler with another good. Jameson Williams with a good game. Jared Goff with a good game. Craig Reynolds with a good game. And there were other good attributes. So if you put it up into the passing spot, this is where you want your wide receivers and pass catchers to show up. And that's good right there. 90, 80, 70, 70, 69, 66. Yeah, you probably want it to be a little bit higher than that. Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't know if he had a drop or something in there. But pass blocking, where you want that? Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3. Look at those. Oh, gosh, that's good. No, wait, you want Brock Wright's the last good one right there. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of your offensive linemen were in the top in pass blocking and running blocking. They didn't grade them all that good, but there you go. You got 1, 2, 3 high end. That's your right side. Your right side. Run to the right, guys. Run to the right, according to PFF. Run to the right, and you're gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. So that's good right there. So that's on the offensive right there. And then here's your snaps. Let's look at these near and look at Aiden Hutchinson again. So the Lions are going to be good against run defense. I wanted everybody to understand that's like when it's Aiden Hutchinson's, he's very awesome at pass rush and tackling. And if he had any weakness, it's in the run defense. But we have so many good run defenders. All these guys defend the run pretty good. Brian Branch, what a great game by Brian Branch. Look at that, 93.3, 53 snaps. And then we're looking at, let's look at Josh Pascal, 59.8. That's not a good overall grade right there, but very good at run defense. Very good tackling for Josh Pascal. We're going to depend on Mekhi Wingo next week. And right here, here's a grade that I can't even take serious for Mekhi Wingo because in his 26 snaps, there were no tackles that came his way. He doesn't even have a grade there, which means that these grades are based off of the 26 plays that he didn't have really a chance to affect. But 61's okay. 64, you go average pass rushing. You're going to count on these guys. You're going to count on these guys. You know, Aleem McNeil, look at that. Damn. I love seeing that they had guys that were going to be affecting the passer. Even Isaac Ukwu coming in, like, these aren't great numbers, but a guy that had to step in, these aren't like, at least it's not here. You know, you don't want to see these numbers down here. Now, Khalil Dorsey having a 26.6 in tackling. I mean, he obviously missed a tackle somewhere, but he plays special teams too. But, you know, when you see that many players that played well on defense right here, you're going all the way that, I mean, you're really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players, 12 of your players that are rating that they're playing well. And then you got a lot of these players that didn't even play that many snaps. Some of them got the snaps in at the end, way depth at the end of the game because they were blowing them out so bad. They got to let some of those bottom guys get on. But I wanted to at least throw, I mean, is this PF conversation like you guys are? Like, I want to be in what you guys want to talk about. Yeah, I say PFF scores don't always line up with the performance. They don't always, but what they do is they tell a story that, to me, with the really high ones and the really low ones. Like, the stuff that's in between, like when I'm looking at these scores, the ones that are like, you know, let's just say 75 down, even down to 60. You're talking about average play. You know, you're just not even average play, but maybe a guy that didn't do as much in the game, or like maybe they're not near the play. Well, PFF still grades that play for you. I mean, you might be the cornerback on the top of the screen and the play goes to the cornerback on the bottom of the screen. They're still going to grade you on that score, even though you were nowhere near affecting the play. So that's where it gets a little bit skewed. But what you can do with PFF is what I like to do is look at the outcome and then line it up and see where the PFF scores does line up with your eyes. Like, to me, Josh Pascal only having a 59.8 on his overall is ridiculous to me. And it's said that he only had 2 tackles, but I remember seeing him, both of those tackles must have been for loss or no gain, because I saw him in the backfield. I saw him pressure the quarterback with my own eyes twice. And I look at here and I see that he only got credit for 1 hurry. And he was living in the backfield. He was back there every single time. So I think that a lot of times, you know, when multiple people are back there, I mean, you can't give all 3 of them a hurry, right? You know, I think they give those hurries to other people. Aleem McNeil got 4 hurries. So if it was my guess, I would think that one of those 4 hurries probably belonged to Pascal. And they were both back there, and they gave it to Aleem. Because Aleem was back there the whole time. He affected the game, but so was Pascal. Pascal lived back there. So was Hutchinson. So was Reeder. In that game, their offensive line stood no chance. And they were missing a tackle, but, you know, they still had Zach Martin. They still had their interior. And, we were talking about how this offense, we had to worry about CeeDee Lamb, and the Lions shut him down. The Lions shut him down. The stuff that the Dallas Cowboys were missing were primarily on defense. On defense. I can't help that you only brought in Ezekiel Elliott, the corpse of, for your game. I can't help that. You're the one that did it. So, PFF doesn't tell the whole story. That's why it's just something for me to talk about. Dave says, Faith Family Football Villains. Thank you, Russell, for sharing your knowledge and insight. PFF is a good reference. It's just not the end all be all. The difference in the secondary could be a ball hawking machine where we don't have as many sacks. Yeah, he's another guy. You got to get another person in there. Somebody else is going to play, one of those positions. And they'll get it done. It just won't be all sexified like you thought, It's PFF Tuesday here. It's a Lion Villain Report with your boy Russell Wayne right here. We're brought to you by NFL Shop. You can use the link in the comments right now or use the QR code and you can save yourself up to 30% at NFL Shop, our affiliate marketing partners. We are live on the Lion Villains Squad Facebook page right now, approaching 56,000 villains. Thank you to everybody that shares, likes, and follows this page, comments on this stuff. We are also on YouTube at Lions Villain Squad. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing. For everybody that's doing the Facebook star comments right there. The purpose of the Facebook stars is to support my wife's page right here. She's an advocate for autism awareness. She's sharing the journey of my autistic son who has a rare genetic disorder being studied by the University of Michigan. She's sharing resources for parents who have children that have special needs. And I am supporting her with the Facebook star purpose. So if you comment with stars, thank you for your support on my wife's page. It's faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football to spend time with our family. We use football to create memories. We don't let football use us. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. And that is for the Lion Villain Report tomorrow morning. God bless. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running and maybe we just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.